Chosen one, why are you thinking about quitting right now, when the answer you have been praying for may be only one step away? Why does everything suddenly feel heavier, exactly when you are so close to the very thing you have been asking me for? And what if the reason this season feels so difficult is not because you are failing, but because you are standing at the edge of tomorrow's miracle? My child, listen carefully. If you quit today, you may miss tomorrow's massive miracle. I need you to hear that, not as pressure, but as protection. Because right now, many of you are exhausted in ways nobody can see. You're tired of trying, tired of waiting, tired of believing, while nothing seems to change, tired of praying the same prayer, and hearing only silence. And when that kind of exhaustion builds, quitting begins to sound reasonable. It starts sounding smart. It starts sounding peaceful. It starts sounding like relief. You begin telling yourself, maybe this is not meant for me. Maybe I have waited long enough. Maybe I should just let this go. But what if the moment you want to let go is the exact moment before breakthrough? If what you are calling the end is actually the final stretch? What if the door you are about to walk away from is the very door opening tomorrow? What if the blessing is not far away at all, but simply waiting for your endurance to hold on a little longer? Hear me clearly now. Do not mistake delay for denial. Do not assume silence means absence. Do not believe hard seasons mean I have forgotten you. And do not assume pressure means you were never chosen. Sometimes the weight becomes heavier because the miracle is near. The enemy knows how close you are. He knows what tomorrow carries. He knows what happens if you keep moving forward. He knows what changes when your obedience survives exhaustion. That is why he is attacking you right now. Not only your faith, but your stamina. Not only your joy, but your stamina. Not only your hope, but your stamina. Because if he can wear you down, he does not need to fight the miracle itself. He only needs to convince you to stop walking before you reach it. My child, I have seen the tears you cried in private. I have seen the effort nobody applauded. I have heard the prayers you whispered while your voice was breaking. I have watched you keep showing up, even when your heart wanted to disappear. And I need you to understand something tonight. Your endurance matters far more than you realize. Many people are not one decision away from success. They are one more day away, one more prayer, one more attempt, one more act of faith, one more refusal to quit. And that is why this moment matters so much. Because the voice of quitting always appears when you are exhausted enough to believe it. It whispers, "This is pointless. Nothing is changing. You are wasting time. Protect yourself, walk away." But understand this. That voice is not trying to protect you. It is trying to interrupt you. It wants you to abandon the exact place where your miracle is being formed. And hear this carefully. Not every battle means the assignment is wrong. Sometimes the battle is proof that the assignment is real. Things that carry no value are rarely resisted with this much intensity. Things that are not important are rarely attacked this hard. Things that are not close do not usually require this much perseverance. So if resistance surrounds you right now, do not immediately assume you should leave. Ask yourself this instead. What if this resistance is proof I am standing near something that truly matters? Because tomorrow's miracle is not always visible from where you stand today. Right now, you only see the pain. You only see delay. You only see an unfinished process. But I see something different. I see the outcome. I see what your obedience becomes when it is not cut short too soon. I see what your faith produces when you refuse to abandon it. I see what your life looks like when you do not quit. At the exact moment everything was about to change. That is why I am speaking urgently tonight. Because some of you are standing dangerously close to making the one decision that could make you miss the answer you have been waiting for. Not because you are weak, but because you are tired. And tired people need reminders. They cannot create on their own. So let me remind you, the seed does not look like the harvest. The process does not resemble the promise. Waiting does not feel like blessing. But that does not mean the blessing is not already moving toward you. Your miracle may be far closer than your emotions can currently detect. And the enemy knows, if he convinces you to quit today, you may never see tomorrow's massive miracle. That is why I am asking you now. Hold on. Hold on when progress feels invisible. Hold on when nobody understands your journey. Hold on when results are painfully slow. Hold on when people around you stop believing. Hold on. Even when you cannot explain why your spirit still wants to continue. Because your miracle is not waiting for perfection. It is waiting for persistence. There are blessings that require you to keep walking through the exact season trying to break you. There are answers waiting only for the version of you who refuse to stop. There are doors that only open after you survive the season that made you question everything. And I'm telling you now, tomorrow carries something massive, not small, not average, not barely enough, massive. But if you quit today, you will not be standing in position to receive it. You would have left too early and returned too late. So do not let exhaustion decide for you. Do not let disappointment become your compass. Do not let one painful chapter convince you the entire story is over. I did not bring you this far to leave you standing at the edge of the promise. And in the next part, I'm going to show you why quitting now could cost you far more than you realize, and how to recognize the hidden signs that tomorrow's miracle is already forming around you in ways you cannot yet see. So hear me carefully. Why does the battle suddenly feel heavier right before breakthrough? Why does discouragement rise the moment your life is about to change? Why is the enemy fighting your mind so aggressively if there is nothing valuable waiting on the other side? My child, because tomorrow is not empty. Tomorrow is carrying the very thing you have been praying for, and the enemy knows it. That is why I am warning you now. Do not quit today, because quitting rarely stops only one thing. It opens the door to regret. It opens the door to self-blame. It opens the door to the question, what if I had stayed one more day? And sometimes, that question echoes for years. So hear me clearly. I can see what you cannot yet see. I can see your next step. I can see the reward hidden behind your endurance. I can see the testimony that will come from the very place you are desperate to escape. Some of you are in a season where nothing looks impressive, but everything is forming. The roots are deepening. The character is maturing. The faith is strengthening. The breakthrough is assembling. But because the process is hidden, you are tempted to believe nothing is happening. And that is one of the enemy's oldest lies. He wants you measuring progress only by what you can see. If it is invisible, he wants you to believe it is not real. If it is not instant, he wants you to believe it is not God. If it is not easy, he wants you to believe you missed it. But listen carefully. Some of the greatest miracles arrive after the longest silence. And if you can survive the silence, you will finally understand what was being built the entire time. I need you to notice something. The moment you begin thinking about quitting, your perspective becomes smaller. You stop seeing possibility. You stop hearing hope. You stop imagining a different outcome. Everything suddenly starts feeling final. But understand this. That is not always wisdom speaking. Sometimes, that is exhaustion speaking. Sometimes, that is fear speaking. And sometimes, that is the voice of defeat, trying to disguise itself as maturity. But true maturity does not always walk away. Sometimes maturity stays. Sometimes maturity waits. Sometimes maturity keeps praying, even through the ache. Sometimes maturity says, I do not understand what is happening right now, but I will not abandon my position. And this is exactly the kind of strength this season is building inside you. Not flashy strength, not the kind people celebrate publicly, but quiet strength, the kind that shows up when nobody is watching, the kind that keeps moving after emotions disappear, the kind that does not need applause to remain faithful. This is the strength required for tomorrow's miracle. And I want to speak directly to those of you who feel ashamed because of how tired you have become. You think being tired means you are failing. You think needing rest means you are weak. You think wanting to stop means you were never chosen. But hear me carefully. It means you are human. It means you have been carrying far more than people realize. It means your spirit needs encouragement, not condemnation. So allow me to remind you, your fatigue is not a prophecy of defeat. Your exhaustion is not proof the promise was false. Your weariness is not the final chapter. It is simply the place where you need to remember, I'm still with you, because if I have brought you this far, I did not do it to watch you collapse right before the miracle arrives. I did not lead you through storms so you could surrender at the shoreline. I did not teach you endurance so you would abandon it when it matters most. I did not place hope inside you so it could die at the first sign of delay. No, I have been shaping you for tomorrow, and tomorrow's miracle will require a version of you that did not quit today. It will require the version of you who kept believing even when there was no evidence. The version of you who kept praying, who remained faithful, who refused to let disappointment rewrite the future. And this is why I need you to guard your words. Do not speak as if the promise is dead. Do not talk as if delay means defeat. Do not describe your life as if this difficult season will last forever. Because the enemy loves language that cancels hope. He wants you saying, I knew this would happen. Nothing ever changes for me. It never works out. This is just how life is. It is too late now. And those words carry weight. They pull your spirit downward. But I'm giving you a different language. Say this instead. I'm not quitting now. What God started, He will finish. I may be tired, but I am still standing. My miracle is not late. I am far closer than I feel. Because your words matter more than you realize. They do not simply describe your life. They shape expectation. And expectation positions you to recognize what comes next. Some of you are standing so close to a shift that signs are already appearing around you. A conversation unexpectedly opens. A door begins reopening. A new idea suddenly enters your mind. Someone you forgot about reaches out. Favor begins showing up where there was none before. Do not ignore these moments. These are not random. These are indicators that tomorrow is already moving toward you. But if you quit today, you may completely miss what is unfolding. You will call it coincidence. You will call it meaningless. And you will fail to see the connection between your endurance and your breakthrough. Do not do that. Stay awake. Stay alert. Stay soft enough to receive hope again. Because the miracle I am speaking about is not small. It is not simply meant to help you survive. It is meant to change the direction of your life. It will be bigger than the setback, louder than the pain, stronger than the memory of everything that failed before. And yes, It may arrive in ways you never expected. Sometimes the miracle looks like a door you stopped knocking on. Sometimes it looks like restoration you gave up believing in. Sometimes it looks like provision from a place you never considered. And sometimes the miracle is simply your strength returning before the situation even changes. So do not limit me by your old expectations. I can answer prayers in ways you would never design. I can open what looked permanently sealed. I can restore what looked completely wasted. I can multiply what was almost gone. But you must remain in position. And remaining in position is often the hardest part. It is easier to quit than to keep waiting. It is easier to leave than to endure. It is easier to numb yourself than to continue hoping. But easier is not always wiser. So I ask you one more time. What if tomorrow is the day everything starts shifting? What if one more prayer is the one that matters? What if one more attempt becomes the breakthrough? What if one more day of faith is exactly what was needed? Do not rob yourself of the answer by leaving too early. Some of you are being tested in the final stretch, not because you are being punished, but because you are being prepared. If you stay faithful under pressure, you will know how to carry what comes next. If you keep your heart open, even in disappointment, you will be able to receive the blessing without fearing it. If you keep trusting, while everything remains unfinished, you will know how to celebrate when the miracle finally arrives. That is why today matters. The enemy understands how dangerous your tomorrow is. He knows tomorrow changes everything. He knows tomorrow creates momentum. He knows tomorrow validates every hidden tear, every silent prayer, every sleepless night. That is why today feels heavy. But hear this carefully. Heaviness is not hopelessness. The stone may feel heavy, but it still moves. The night may feel long, but morning still comes. The waiting may sting deeply, but it does not last forever. Anchor your heart in that truth. You are not stuck. You are not abandoned. You are not one failure away from being forgotten. You are standing in a moment where endurance is becoming testimony. So breathe, reset your mind, lift your eyes again, and do not quit, because tomorrow is not just another day. Tomorrow may carry the very thing that changes everything. And if you survive today, with your faith still intact, you will not only receive the miracle, you will become the kind of person who can recognize it, honor it, and carry it well. That is why I sent this warning. Not to pressure you, but to preserve you. Not to burden you, but to protect you. Not to make you afraid, but to keep you standing. Tomorrow's massive miracle is real, and your refusal to quit today may be the exact reason you get to meet it. So stay, hold on, keep going, pray again, try again, believe again, because what comes next will be worth everything. If this message is for you, do not let it pass by lightly. Let it settle inside your spirit. Let it strengthen your heart. Let it pull you back from the edge of giving up. Because hear this one final time. You are closer than you think, and you are not allowed to quit now. If these words reached your heart tonight, then this channel is no coincidence. This may be the place where God keeps sending the messages you need, exactly when you need them most. So subscribe now, and walk this journey with us, because the next message you receive here may change your life forever. Do not miss what heaven sends next.